Just when we thought things between Mendeecees, Yandy and Erica Mena could get any messier, the internet erupts with something that nobody was prepared for. Intimate videos purportedly showing Mendeecees and Erica together are now going viral online, and fans are going crazy. Is this the true reason Yandy filed for divorce after weeks of turmoil stemming from rumors of Erica's pregnancy? Social media is in full meltdown mode after the shocking DNA results confirmed Mendeecees is the father, and Yandy's emotional breakdown after the revelation. This latest twist has escalated the drama to unimaginable levels, with people wondering if Yandy knew about the videos or if they were the last male in a marriage that was already in danger. Some fans claim Yandy looked too, while others are demanding answers from both Erica and Mendeecees. Yandy remains silent. We're not claiming the clips are real, but if they are, this changes everything. Stay with us as we unpack every complex, emotional, and shocking detail that has the entire reality TV industry on fire. The morning started out like any other day, with the sun rising over Atlanta and bathing the streets below in a warm glow. However, in the world of celebritydrama.com never lasts long, and within a few hours, the internet exploded, revealing an anonymous Twitter account released a little granny clip that didn't seem like much at first, but people with keen eyes saw familiar faces. A man and a woman in what looked like an upscale hotel room. They weren't just talking. They were touching, whispering, and laughing. In private, the man was clearly Mendeecees Harris, and the woman was Erica Mena. The video quickly went viral on Instagram stories. Fans turned like investigators, zooming into clips, comparing recent images, and even matching furnishings seen. In previous posts, the footage was fuzzy, but the voices, tattoos, rings, and even the way guys DC smiled left little room for doubt. Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, and all platforms carried it. Weren't just shocked, they were furious. Many of the people who had supported Yandy and Mendeecees during their time on reality TV were quick to defend her, recalling how she had kept everything together while Mendeecees was away, how she had managed the household, cared for their kids, and defended his name during his legal battle. It was heartbreaking to watch everything fall apart over a scandalous video, but she said nothing, denied anything, or confirmed anything. However, behind the scenes, things were anything but quiet. According to a close family friend, Yandy had been sent the videos anonymously 2 weeks earlier, and she reportedly watched them by herself. She didn't scream, she didn't throw anything, she just sat there frozen in her bedroom behind a locked door, with tears streaming down her face. The betrayal wasn't just physical, it was spiritual. It shattered her sense of loyalty, trust, and years of shared dreams. The same source revealed that after seeing the video, Yandy didn't talk to men for 3 days in a row. She slept in the guest room. It was the actions of someone who wasn't planning a fight. Rather, she was getting ready to leave when the video eventually went viral. She canceled the public appearance and then began making discreet moves, contacting a lawyer, gathering financial records, and even changing the locks to her personal office in the house. She was not taken by surprise. Rather, she chose to remain offline and let the world make its own judgments while she concentrated on safeguarding her kids. Her team promptly stepped up security at her house. And although paparazzi were already swarming outside her driveway and news vans were parked across the street, the atmosphere was one of solemn, focused, and determined men from Mendeecees. However, he handled things differently. The very next night, he was seen laughing and drinking at a lounge in downtown Atlanta as if nothing had happened. There was no public regret or apology. Some say it was his coping mechanism, while others think he just didn't care. In any case, the optics were awful, especially when combined with rumors that he had been alerted about the leak days before it occurred. He ignored an anonymous message warning him that they were coming for his marriage and to protect it while he could. He laughed it off, and Erica Mena disappeared in the interim. She didn't post, reply, or acknowledge anything, but in a scandal like this, silence speaks loudly. The internet was merciless, and people searched through old pictures in an attempt to find hints. Suddenly, came the next shocking revelation. Screenshots of private dens purportedly between Erica and her former assistant appeared online, in which Erica acknowledged that she and Mendeecees had attended the same event months earlier. What had previously been thought to be a coincidence was now proof. Every look and hand gesture was examined. While working on a secret brand project, she had a moment of weakness. She said it was supposed to be a one-time thing, but things got messy. When the assistant asked Yandy if she knew Arab, her response was chilling. Now that the footage has reached her, she says, "I feel terrible, but it's too late." The messages were enough to make the internet go viral again. Started breaking down the timeline, gossip channels broadcast hour-long analyses. Fans retrieved clips from hip-hop and love shows where Yandy and Erica had side-eyed one another. Now everything made sense. The awkward energy and tension were real. It was never just television drama. Amidst this media circus, a picture of Yandy leaving the story shattered the hearts of fans everywhere because it was about a mother, and not simply infidelity. The family therapist was in her son's office with her son, who appeared small with his head down while she gripped his hand tightly. Witnesses claim, she muttered, "You're safe, baby mommies, right here." Infinity Yandy's adopted daughter had recently reconnected with the family after a difficult past, and they were just starting to heal. Now that the healing process was underway, party insiders claim Yandy has already started the process for full custody of both children, not out of spite but for protection. This made things even more complicated as the world watched her fall apart. Confides in the man she formerly referred to as her partner. According to one relative, Mendeecees has been attempting to contact Yandy since the leak, but she has blocked him on all platforms. He unexpectedly showed up at her office but was turned away. He left a handwritten letter from the receptionist apologizing for destroying everything, but Yandy hasn't read it. She informed her team that if he was sorry, the video wouldn't exist. Apologies, but not everyone is certain that this is the end. According to some insiders, Mendeecees will attempt to make things right not out of love, but because his reputation is at stake. The brand deals, the show contracts, the public persona, but it's unclear if Yandy will give him that chance. What is certain though, is that she isn't waiting. Her attention is now on her dot. She supported Mendeecees when no one else would for years, keeping the family together and playing the part of a faithful wife even when it was painful. However, she is now choosing herself. And just when fans thought the drama couldn't get any more intense, a leaked phone call surfaced in the middle of this media frenzy. As the world watched Yandy's marriage fall apart in real time, she decided to do something different. Rather than hiding behind carefully crafted posts or press releases, she chose to face it head-on. Yandy had spent years establishing her public image as a devoted wife, a hardworking mother, a loyal friend, and a strong woman who stood tall through every storm. According to people close to Yandy, she started secretly recording her thoughts on her phone. Late at night, after putting her children to bed, she would sit in the dark and speak into her camera. She didn't know what she would do with the footage, but something told her she might need it later. While Mendeecees was gradually realizing the severity of the situation, his public image was in flames, and fans who had once praised him for turning his life around were now pouring disgusting comments into his comment sections. She also talked about how betrayal feels like slow poison, and how the real pain isn't in the cheating but in the disrespect that follows. One of the most shocking incidents occurred when Mendeecees attempted to contact Yandy during a church event she attended with her children. He showed up unexpectedly wearing a suit and carrying a bouquet of flowers. He had been in talks for partnerships, but suddenly, everything stopped. Even some of his closest industry friends quietly distanced themselves. One by one, bridges were burning, and he had no water to put the fires out. Everywhere, but Yandy didn't bat an eye. She wouldn't even speak to him in front of the crowd. Later that night, a video appeared of her passing him without looking at him while holding her daughter's hand. The message was clear. She was done performing in public and wanted accountability, not Beatrix. Just when everyone thought things couldn't get any worse, a phone recording was leaked. Mendeecees reportedly said, "I didn't think it'd blow up like this. I thought she'd forgive me like before," in a recorded phone conversation with one of his close friends. The implication that this wasn't the first betrayal hit hard, and fans felt deceived themselves. Was the innocent love story they'd supported for years just a carefully edited at home? Yandy wasn't just planning her next move. She was also safeguarding her legacy. She had multiple business endeavors and started making sure all legal documents were in her name alone. With the assistance of her lawyer, she updated her will, signed a postnuptial agreement, and even started writing a personal memoir about the silent. The first few chapters were brutal, honest, and emotional. They weren't about retaliation. Rather, they were about truth. On the other hand, Erica Mena had made a brief reappearance in a vague Instagram story with a black screen and white text. "We all make mistakes, but some mistakes come with it." Was removed within an hour, but screenshots quickly went viral. Fans conjectured that it was a confession, an apology, or an attempt to manipulate the story. In any case, it fueled the flames. People started to question whether this was more than just an affair, whether there was a genuine emotional relationship or feelings involved. And the rumors grew more sinister when an insider claimed that Mendeecees had been meeting Erica in secret for more than 6 months. Their alleged rendezvous were scheduled during business trips and away shoots, and they occasionally met in hotels or at mutual friends' homes. If this was true, it was a full-blown double life. And the most painful thing was realizing that Yandy had been organizing as she had commissioned a custom painting of their family as a surprise anniversary gift for him, and it now sat in her closet unfinished. Friends close to Yandy noticed that she was moving into a new emotional girwan of clarity and resolve, and spending more time at women's empowerment events, sharing small pieces and giving spontaneous speeches. She was also no longer crying as much. Mendeecees weren't prepared to let go, though, and privately pleaded for forgiveness through lengthy messages, voice notes, and even letters. She shared her journey without naming names, but everyone knew who she was talking about. Her strength inspired thousands of women to share their own stories, and hashtags like #STAMBI with Andy went viral overnight, promised therapy, accountability, honesty, and tears. But Yandy had heard it all before. She needed more than just words. She needed evidence. So she set a boundary. If he really wanted to defend his family, he had to avoid all public attention. No parties, no interviews. No, for the first time in years, Mendeecees' digital footprint went cold. Fans conjectured endlessly. Was he truly trying to change, or was he just hiding until the drama passed? A strange few weeks of total silence and consistency followed, with no posts, comments, or even a story. Meanwhile, Erica encountered criticism from all sides of the internet. Old tweets from her past were unearthed, and she was portrayed as a serial homewrecker. She attempted to make a formal statement through her manager, but it was met with even more criticism. At this point, it seemed as though no one would listen to her, as her only choice. Then, in an unexpected turn of events, a former friend of Mindy's leaked screenshots of private photos of text messages between him and a third woman, someone who wasn't Yandy or Erica, which he flirted, choked, and even alluded to traveling. Together, the timestamps were recent enough to evidence that he continued to play risky games even as his marriage was failing. The betrayal was not only profound, but multi-layered. According to a family member, Yandy didn't cry or scream when she saw those screenshots. Instead, she only uttered the words, "He's not broken, he's rotten." The story had reached a boiling point, and fans were glued to their screens waiting for the next update, the next twist, the next fallout. But Yandy made her final decision. At that point, she called her lawyer and started the formal separation process. It wasn't impulsive, it wasn't emotional, it was strategic. She wasn't just leaving a man, she was protecting her peace. Had fallen silent once more, but this time it was due to strength rather than pain. She was taking one quiet step at a time to regain her voice, and while everyone awaited a final declaration, a public closure, or perhaps even a divorce announcement, rumors started to circulate about something even more significant that might upend the industry. Only Yandy wanted to see if men could humble themselves and rebuild trust in private, far away from the performative world they had been trapped in for years. It was a test, and for the first few weeks he seemed to pass. She knew, and was going to reveal it soon, there would be no parties, social media posts, interviews, or anything else, though he reportedly began attending private counseling sessions and canceled club appearances due to cameras. The scandal's shadow remained large, people whispered behind their backs, and the internet never forgot. Every time Mendeecees was seen anywhere, there was speculation about whether he was truly changing or if this was just another show as he attempted to prove he was. For the first time in a long time, Yandy wasn't working from damage control. Instead, she was leading with peace. The world started to see a different Yandy, calm, confident. She reconnected with friends she had previously pushed away during the chaos of reality TV. She traveled with her kids, giving them new experiences and reminding herself of what really mattered, and glowing, which more than anything frightened Mendeecees. He understood that she was learning to live without him. But just when it appeared that things would finally calm down, a new storm erupted. A private email exchange between Mendeecees and a well-known event organizer was leaked to a gossip blog. In the emails, he called the entire cheating scandal a publicity blunder and even suggested ways they could use the publicity for when Yandy read the messages. She didn't scream or cry. Instead, she sat with her phone in silence. The betrayal was more profound than ever before, and this time there was no argument or dispute. The casual tone was shocking and contradicted everything he had been doing publicly. Mendeecees were in a panic, so he showed up at her office without warning. He tried to reach her through friends or even family, but the doors had closed. She just disconnected, stopped answering texts, ignored calls, and didn't reply to the letters or flowers he sent. Her silence was louder than any fight they had ever had. She had given him one last chance, and he turned it into another performance. Emotionally, spiritually, and possibly for good. The media quickly caught on, with headlines speculating about an official separation and paparazzi hovering outside their shared home in hopes of capturing a moving truck or a tearful farewell. Rumor sites erupted with stories about divorce filings, custody disputes, and more. Fan pages erupted. Some accused Mendeecees of being cold. Others questioned Yandy's coldness, and the digital battlefield was in turmoil. One particularly hostile outlet even claimed to have proof that Yandy had filed for sole custody, but no confirmation ever materialized. As if things weren't bad enough, another she claimed to have been having casual relationships with Mendeecees during the months he was allegedly working on his relationship with Yandy. She shared screenshots of flirtatious texts, pictures of gifts he had sent, and even a brief video of him entering her apartment late at night, despite the fact that Mendeecees called her a clout chaser. This time, the woman came forward, but it wasn't Erica or the Atlanta scandal. The timeline didn't help him because it coincided too closely with the purported healing period. Yandy, who remained silent, responded most powerfully through her presence. She shared a video on Instagram of herself journaling in a park with her children playing in the background. There were no words or music in the video. Despite being only 20 seconds long, the video received 5 million views in a single day. Fans praised her grace, strength, and refusal to participate in the circus. Women from all over the world started sharing their own stories, tagging Yandy and calling her an inspiration. The network behind their show, desperate to know. The network promised complete creative control in the hopes that it would become one of the highest-rated episodes ever. Mendeecees immediately agreed, seeing it as a chance for redemption, not just with Yandy, and they took advantage of the buzz by offering a special and exclusive sit-down between Yandy and Mendeecees in the style of a doc had changed them, and suddenly Yandy was more than just a reality star. She became a symbol of silent strength, and brands started approaching her for partnerships unrelated to drama. She started a podcast about self-healing and self-improvement, and the same websites that had once profited from her heartbreak now wanted to celebrate her progress. Meanwhile, Mendeecees found himself in a new realm of irrelevance, with the drama that had kept him in the news transforming into quiet indifference. Fans who had once applauded him now hardly paid attention to his posts. Club bookings dried up, interviews were canceled, and even his attempts to switch to motivational speaking felt flat because people were no longer buying it. He had burned the bridge too many times, and the once forgiving audience had finally stopped watching. But what hurt him the most was not losing his fame or money, but rather seeing Yandy succeed without him and create a new life without his name attached. The last blow came quietly when a court clerk unintentionally revealed that Yandy had legally changed her last name back to her maiden name. She hadn't made a public announcement. There was no fanfare, just a quiet official step into her new life. Every moment of joy she shared served as a reminder of what he had lost, not just a wife, but a legacy they could have built together. Fans argued about what it meant, but for those who had been watching, the message was clear. She wasn't just getting better, she was moving on. As she continued to rise, Mendeecees watched from the sidelines, hosting seminars, starting new businesses, and mentoring women. He attempted to connect with her one final time using an old picture. Picture the family with the simple comment, "I miss this." He never received a response, and he knew he would never because she had finally learnt to choose herself. Not because she detested him, and that's when the true narrative changed from one of betrayal to one of rebirth. Her story, her presence, and her truth spoke louder than words. When she talked about betrayal, the room fell silent. When she talked about the weight of having to be the strong one all the time, many in the audience started crying. She talked about rebuilding not just her life but also her spirit. She acknowledged that she didn't have the women in the room, praised not only her strength but also her vulnerability. And by the end of the evening, it was evident that Yandy had entered a new stage of her life that didn't center on being meant. She wasn't portraying herself as a victim or a survivor, but rather as a woman who had finally chosen herself after years of making sacrifices for others. Word of the event spread quickly, even without media coverage, and blogs picked up testimonies from attendees. Clips secretly recorded by someone in the audience went viral. Suddenly, Yandy wasn't just trending. She was being recognized as a woman who was healing, growing, and standing tall without the need for validation from the media or her past. Mendeecees watched all of this from a distance, celebrating as he saw the respect Yandy was gaining and how people started talking about her as a thought leader and influential woman, not just as a reality TV personality. Instead of feeling proud or supportive, he felt panicked because he saw his own insignificance growing as she rose to prominence. In an effort to regain control, Men took to social media to post a lengthy message declaring that he was prepared to speak his truth. He also announced an upcoming YouTube documentary called The Other Side of Love, in which he promised to reveal the truth about what actually transpired between him and Yandy. The more he stepped into her spotlight, the more people started to wonder if he was just a chapter she had closed. The teaser trailer included. There were mixed reactions on the internet to the dramatic black and white photos of him staring into the distance, the slow piano music, and the old interview clips stitched together with captions like "You think you know, but you don't." Some people were curious, while others were furious. Many accused him of using his mistakes as an opportunity to know. People started to notice the difference more clearly now that Yandy's name was used in the project's title, even though she had never consented to be involved. While Yandy proceeded quietly and with dignity, Mendeecees appeared to be caught in a never-ending cycle of chasing attention and continued to treat life like a show. The documentary was released, and although it received a lot of views, the response was unimpressive rather than providing real insight, or one quote in particular sparked backlash. Sometimes when a man feels unappreciated, he looks for warmth elsewhere. Social media erupted as he was accused of being defensive and self-serving, evading responsibility, questioning the loyalty of those around him. and even hinting that Yandy had been cold long before the cheating. Mendeecees had hoped for redemption, but ended up further alienating themselves. Major outlets ran think pieces on emotional abuse and accountability in relationships, gaslighting and manipulating the narrative. In spite of this setback, Yandy continued to grow, launching a mental health campaign for women of color in collaboration with the wellness brand. She was asked to speak on panels, podcasts, and even she never mentioned Mendeecees negatively. In any of these appearances, her power came from her peace. However, the story wasn't finished yet. In a turn of events that no one anticipated, Mendeecees were served with legal documents indicating that Yandy had formally filed for separation, although she didn't publicly announce it. The documents leaked, making it official. Was contacted by a university that wanted her to give a seminar on healing after public betrayal. The internet praised Mendeecees' choice, calling it brave and long overdue. Influencers and celebrities reposted the article with words of "Yandy finally walks away, no more love, just peace." Mendeecees didn't react right away, maybe because he realized for the first time that there was nothing left to say. No more posts, no more specials, no more apologies. The door was closed, and this time Yandy was the one who had to step up. Support, it wasn't just a breakup, it was a cultural moment. People saw it as a symbol of reclaiming one's power. One who shut it down, not out of rage, but out of self-respect, inspired thousands of others to follow suit. Months went by, and gradually the commotion subsided as the paparazzi stopped pursuing Mendeecees' blobs and moved on to other scandals. The spotlight faded and reality set in, and he was reduced to a man. He still loved Yandy, maybe more than ever, but he had shattered something that could never be repaired. He finally realized that redemption isn't earned by a social media post or a documentary, but rather by constant, modest change, and sometimes even that isn't enough. Even though she didn't mention his name once in the manuscript, every word felt like a reaction to the years of suffering and development she had gone through. She wasn't resentful. Instead, she started a foundation for young girls, grew her businesses, and started writing a book that wasn't a tell-all but rather a manual for repairing boundaries and self-worth. Was better, and she had transformed her suffering into a purpose. In the book's last chapter, she wrote, "Love can be loud, Mendeecees, and unforgettable at times. But sometimes the best kind of love is the one you give yourself when no one else knows how. That love that is quiet, steady, and free is the kind that lasts." With that, the story of Yandy and Mendeecees didn't conclude with a reunion or a tea comeback. A woman opting for peace, a guy confronting his reality, and the general public realizing that not all for some stories to have impact. A happy conclusion is necessary, while for others, the intense drama between Erica Mena and Mendeecees because of their leaked personal photos. Harris and Yandy Smith have gone viral on the internet. Fans worldwide are left with videos of furious altercations and Yandy's surprising decision to file for divorce. Pondering the true events that transpired behind closed doors, we have been following this tale intently, making connections between the pregnancy disclosures, confirmation of the dinner test, and these recent events that have everyone talking. But in your opinion, is this the true reason Yandy left, or is there another factor at play here? We would want to hear your thoughts and ideas on this complex tale that isn't being shown by the cameras or the headlines. Explosive saga. Are these leaked clips authentic in your opinion, or could they be a part of a well-planned scheme to cause drama? What are your thoughts about Mendeecees and Erica's connection following given everything that has transpired? Do you believe Yandy made the correct choice in filing for divorce? Or should she have attempted to resolve the issue? Your opinion counts, and we invite you to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Join the talk with other fans, and let's talk about the complexities of this developing reality TV drama. If you like this in-depth analysis of the drama involving Yandy and Mendeecees Erica, give this video a thumbs up, please. Your support enables us to provide you with more juicy news, exclusive updates, and insights from behind the scenes. Additionally, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and activate alerts. We have more surprising revelations regarding celebrity and fake news updates. You won't want to miss the drama that is headed your way. Thank you for watching, and keep in mind that this narrative is continuously developing. Await our upcoming video, which will provide you with the most recent information and perhaps even more surprises. Continue following us for your daily fix of drama and excitement, and don't forget to hit the like button. We appreciate hearing from you and reading all of your thoughts, so please subscribe and leave a comment below. What do you think? Believe that Mendeecees and Yandy are coming to an end, or may a startling time will tell if reconciliation is imminent. But one thing is certain. We'll be here to provide you with every detail as it develops, because this tale is far from over.